Good morning and welcome to the Volunteer Voice. I'm Tracy Ballard from Anne Arundel Community College, and today I'm very pleased to have Chris Wilson with us again. You will remember Chris. She is the Director of Advancement and Volunteer Services for Hospice of the Chesapeake. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Thank you for having me again.
Oh, so glad that you are here. You all are a wonderful friend of the show. For folks who might not know about Hospice of the Chesapeake, please tell us about your organization.
Sure. Well, Hospice of the Chesapeake's mission is caring for life throughout the journey with illness and loss. So we provide physical, psychosocial, and spiritual support services to individuals living with and affected by advanced illness.
Okay. And you serve folks in this county, around the state, or what areas do you work in?
We actually serve both Anne Arundel and Prince George's County, and we serve patients wherever they call home, whether it be an inpatient care facility, an assisted living facility, or the majority of our patients are cared for in their own homes.
Okay. And I think that probably most of us are familiar with just the whole concept of hospice. We know that you have wonderful teams of dedicated doctors and nurses and administrative folks, but you all rely a lot on volunteers. Is that right?
We absolutely rely on volunteers to help support our patients, our families, and our teams administratively.
Okay. And how has the current pandemic changed the situation for you?
Wow. Well, it obviously has been challenging, but I'm very proud to say that our volunteer team and our volunteers have really adapted and pivoted very quickly. We are obviously no longer allowed to have volunteers go into patients' homes or facilities, but that does not mean that they are not still stepping up and helping in a multitude of ways.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you all have been able to figure out and have a need for volunteer opportunities that kind of honor the need for social distancing, right?
Absolutely, we do. Our patient care volunteers are continuing to call every patient and family on a weekly basis to check in with them and to see if the patient would like a weekly call from a volunteer, just to have a friendly voice, to talk to them or sing to them or read to them over the phone. So that has worked very well.
That's a great way to do it. And I bet is Zoom involved in this in this current day and age?
We actually have not used Zoom for our volunteers as of yet. Not to say that we won't, but at this point, it's mainly via telephone at this point.
Actually, and that's nice. So if folks are technologically challenged, the phone is probably something that they can use fairly easily.
It is. It is. Given that a lot of our patient population is older, we felt that the phone was the easier method at this point. We have also really been able to pivot with our honor salutes. We've talked about that in the past. That's one of our signature programs of the organization. And we've really been able to pivot and do those virtually as well. So that's really been wonderful to be able to still honor those veterans in our care. We actually
Fantastic.
have volunteers that actually deliver to the door front of the patient's home an honor salute kit, which has their certificate, the patriotic handmade quilt, the thank you cards from local school children, and their American flag pin. And then what we do is we share with them virtually a recorded message of gratitude from our veteran volunteers.
That's fantastic that you're able to keep that going because I know, for those of us who've seen that or heard of folks who've participated in it, it's a very powerful and moving experience.
It absolutely is. And, Tressa, the other piece that we have done and we've talked about is our Healing Arts program, which is a very unique program of Hospice of the Chesapeake. We've really been able to adapt that as well. And we've been able to have our musicians record some clips that we can actually share digitally of our therapeutic music, even a guided meditation. And we're even working on developing a chair yoga that can be shared with patients and caregivers as well. All of this can be used for caregivers as they deal with the stress of not only caring for the loved one, but also COVID-19.
That is a really fantastic array of just innovative and creative volunteer opportunities. So, if folks want to discuss this with you, if they think that they might have something to give, how do you want them to reach out to you, Chris?
They can email us, they can call us. I would really encourage them to still reach out to us. There are so many ways. The ways that I just talked about. There, we also, of course, are looking for handmade masks, and it's also a really good time for people who are interested to explore something new as part of volunteer training. To maybe look at our trainings and see what opportunities there are, because lots of people have a little more time on their hands, right?
Absolutely, time on the hands, and mask making I know is a big deal. And actually, what I really like about this conversation is it seems that you've got a little bit of something potentially for everyone. It seems that the variety of needs that you have at the moment might fit just sort of all of our community members. So if people have an interest, they should definitely reach out.
Absolutely, they should.
Okay, well, thank you, Chris. I really appreciate you joining us again. And thank you for listening to the Volunteer Voice on 1430 WNAV, your hometown station.